Podcast 265 Caribbean Echoes, The Evolution of Ilaro Court and the State House in Barbados. Copyright 2026, ISBN 978-97697-82686. Welcome to Caribbean Echoes, where we dive into the rich history, culture, and heritage of the Caribbean. I am your host, Dr. William Anderson Gittins, DD, and today we are exploring the fascinating stories behind two iconic buildings in Barbados, Ilaro Court and the State House. These buildings are not just architectural marvels, but symbols of Barbados's political and cultural transformation from colonial rule to a sovereign republic. Let's start by setting the stage. As an author, podcaster, photojournalist, media arts specialist, cultural theorist, and doctor of divinity, I've captured and framed Barbados, the tiny Caribbean island nation with a lengthy history of colonization and a centuries-long quest for freedom, according to Britannica.com. Today, we are focusing on two buildings that have stood as landmarks through the island's shifting political and cultural landscape, Ilaro Court and the State House, both integral to the island's story. First, let's talk about the historical significance of these buildings. Ilaro Court, which sits in the parish of St. Michael, was originally constructed as the residence for British colonial governors, Bing.com. But when Barbados gained independence in 1966, this building transitioned into the official residence of the Prime Minister. This marked a symbolic shift. Ilaro Court became a place where decisions were made not just by colonial authorities, but by elected leaders who represented a free and democratic Barbados, Cumberbatch 2019. It's now the site of major political events and state functions, acting as a symbol of Barbados's sovereignty. On the other hand, the State House, formerly known as Government House, is an even older landmark. Built in the 18th century, according to wikipedia.org, it served as the official residence for British colonial governors. But with the independence of Barbados and the installation of the first Governors General in the 1960s, the State House began to reflect the political transition to self-governance, Wells 2015. And in 2021, as Barbados became a republic, the State House took on a new, even more powerful role. It became the official residence of the first president of Barbados, symbolizing the full transition from a constitutional monarchy to a republic state, O'Connor 2021. Let's zoom in on the architecture of these iconic buildings. Both Ilaro Court and the State House carry the marks of British colonial influence, but they've also incorporated local elements that reflect Barbados's unique cultural identity. Wikipedia.org. Take Ilaro Court, for example. Built in the early 20th century, it combines British neoclassical grandeur with tropical design features perfectly suited to the Barbadian climate, Hines 2017. The grand staircase, large windows, and sprawling gardens are typical of colonial architecture, meant to impress and convey power. But look closer, and you'll also see local materials and design elements that give Ilaro Court a distinctly Barbadian touch. It's a fusion of colonial elegance and the island's rich cultural heritage. Now, the State House is another fine example of Georgian and colonial design. Constructed during the 18th century, this building showcases the symmetry and classical style of the era, with its stately columns and expansive gardens. Adams 2018. Even though the building has undergone several modifications over the years, it retains its historical charm and remains a testament to Barbados's colonial past. But Since its transformation into the official residence of the president, the building now represents the island's new republican identity. But what's truly fascinating about both Ilaro Court and the State House is their cultural and political symbolism. These buildings are not just places where important decisions are made, they are powerful symbols of Barbados's political evolution. Ilaro Court, for instance, represents the continuity of democratic governance in Barbados. The Prime Minister's residence is a constant reminder of the shift from colonial rule to political independence. Macintosh 2020. It's a symbol of the self-determination that Barbados achieved in 1966 and continues to embody today. Meanwhile, the State House plays an equally important symbolic role. Its transformation from a symbol of British colonial rule to the residence of the President of Barbados is a powerful visual representation of the island's break from its colonial past. Wells 2015. Today, the State House serves as the backdrop for presidential events and national ceremonies, further cementing its status as a symbol of national sovereignty and Republican values. Wikipedia.org. To wrap up, Ilaro Court and the State House are more than just physical spaces. They are enduring symbols of Barbados's journey from colonialism to independence and republicanism. BarbadosPocketGuide.com. Their architectural styles, steeped in colonial influence, have evolved alongside the island's political changes. These buildings stand as living monuments to the island's history, from its colonial roots to its modern-day identity as a sovereign nation. As Barbados continues to navigate its future, Ilaro Court and the State House will remain at the heart of its national consciousness, symbols of the resilience, pride, and sovereignty of the Barbadian people. That concludes the Caribbean Echoes podcast for today. Essentially, even though this story may fit within a genre, it should be understood that genres are a more general classification that encompasses a variety of storytelling styles. I hope you've enjoyed learning about these iconic buildings and their role in shaping the history of Barbados. Join us next time as we continue to explore the rich cultural and political history of the Caribbean. Until then, I am Dr. William Anderson Gittins, DD, and this has been Caribbean Echoes. God bless.